Any MSP can copy your tools and your pricing, but they will never copy your. Tonight, we're talking about something that rarely gets discussed in the MSP space because it isn't loud, it isn't flashy, and it isn't something a vendor can bundle. The invisible habits that truly separate high-performing MSPs from everyone else. It's not the tools, the proposal templates, not the stack, not the pricing model. Those things matter, absolutely. But they don't create a high-performing MSP on their own. High performance comes from the disciplines you build behind the scenes. Disciplines your clients don't always see, but feel. Disciplines your team doesn't always notice, but depend upon. Disciplines that compound silently until your MSP becomes predictable, scalable, and stable. So tonight we're diving into the 7 invisible habits that define top-tier MSPs, the habits that actually move the needle. Let's get into it. Habit 1. They run their MSP like a health system, not a help desk. High-performing MSPs don't wait for things to break so they can just jump in and look heroic. They eliminate the condition that caused the problem in the first place. This mindset comes from something I learned long before our MSP. Years ago, when I was the IT director for a 170-bed hospital, I led a team of 12, clinical informatics and technical staff. The environment ran smoothly, few outages, few escalations, almost no chaos, and because of that, corporate harped on me constantly. They believed that low ticket volumes meant low performance. They believed that more tickets meant more value. They believed activity equaled productivity, which is one of the worst metrics you can use in IT. I told them, we do a ton of proactive work. That's why our ticket counts are low. They didn't get it. So they pushed me to open tickets for every single proactive task, not because it helped the hospital, but to satisfy a scorecard that had nothing to do with results. And the experience taught me something important. High-performing teams are punished when the people above them don't understand proactive work. So when we built our MSP, we did the opposite. We don't chase noise. We don't inflate ticket counts. We don't measure activity for the sake of measuring activity. We believe this. Every ticket is an interruption, a distraction, an indicator that something failed or slowed someone else down. Our goal isn't to generate more support. Our goal is to generate less need for support. We try to make things so stable behind the scenes that clients forget problems are even possible. And here's the part that surprises people. We never, ever received a complaint about the lack of tickets. Because clients don't want noise. They want normal. Low performers, they chase chaos. High performers, engineer quiet. Habit 2, they debrief everything, especially the wins. Most MSPs only analyze when something goes wrong. High-performing MSPs also analyze when things go exceptionally well. If a project installs smoothly, they ask why. If onboarding had zero drama, they document what made it easy. If the week is quiet, they look for the pattern behind the calm, because here's the truth. Failures teach you what you need to avoid. Success teaches you what you need to repeat. Average MSPs celebrate wins. High performers study them. Wins aren't coincidences. They're patterns, and high-performing MSPs replicate those patterns relentlessly. Habit 3, they decide fast and implement intentionally. Low-performing MSP owners drain themselves with overthinking. Should we switch tools? Should we hire? Should we fire this client? Should we raise prices? They grind on decisions for weeks, months, and sometimes years. High-performing MSPs operate differently. They make decisions quickly, and then they implement intentionally, not impulsively, not recklessly, not emotionally. They simply understand something most owners never grasp. An unmade decision drains more energy than a wrong decision. Wrong decisions can be fixed. Stagnant decisions create decay. High performers move forward, then they refine, then they stabilize. This is why they evolve faster. Not because they're smarter, but because they refuse to sit in paralysis. Habit 4, they protect thinking time like it's billable work. Most MSP owners live inside a constant reaction loop. Notifications, tickets, Slack, vendor noise, escalation, client quick favors. High-performing MSPs, these owners build protected thinking time every week. No inbox, no tickets, no interruptions, no reacting, just strategy, reflection, planning, root cause analysis, margin protection, forecasting, clarity, leadership development. Thinking time is where the business becomes intentional. Without it, you only ever work in the business. With it, you finally work on the business. This is one of the strongest predictors of long-term growth. Habit 5, they track the one metric most owners ignore: energy. Now, this surprises people, but it's true. Your energy level is one of the most accurate indicators of how your business will perform. If you're scattered, the team becomes scattered. If you're exhausted, the culture becomes exhausted. If you're resentful, standards slip. If you're anxious, the business becomes chaotic. High-performing MSP owners constantly ask, what drains me? What task should be delegated? What conversation am I avoiding? What client sucks the life out of my team? Where is the emotional friction inside of my business? This isn't self-help, it's operational reality. Your business mirrors your psychology. Your team mirrors your pace, and your culture mirrors your energy. High performers target energy as a KPI because it is. Habit 6, they don't chase momentum, they build it. Most MSPs run on accidental momentum. A good month, a random streak of referrals, a quiet week, a big project, then the dip hits. High-performing MSPs engineer momentum on purpose. Every week, they build rhythm, client communication, alignment meetings, margin checks, standard reinforcement, process refinement, upcoming friction prediction, proactive outreach, internal clarity. Momentum becomes a controlled variable, not a roller coaster. Habit 7, they protect culture more than contracts. Most MSP owners obsess over retention. They'll tolerate disrespect, emotional chaos, unreasonable demands, all to keep the revenue. High-performing MSPs don't think this way. They protect internal culture more than they protect contracts. Because a toxic client destroys all kinds of stuff: morale, identity, confidence, trust, emotional safety, and your team's belief in leadership. Recently, we had a client who consistently brought negativity and tension into our interactions. Every call carried attitude, every call carried friction. Good employees dreaded dealing with them. So we made the call. We fired them. Not because of money, not because of workload, because they poisoned our culture, and the culture is non-negotiable. Here's the truth. Clients don't just drain time. They drain your team's identity, and your team's identity determines your business's future. High performers filter aggressively. They protect their people. They choose clients who strengthen, not weaken their environment, and culture builds contracts every single time. Any MSP can copy your tools and your pricing, but they will never copy your habits. That's why two MSPs with the same resources end up with completely different outcomes. None of these habits are flashy. None of them are loud. None of them sell vendor seats. But they create something far more important: consistency, predictability, clarity, stability, a confident team, clients who trust you, margins you can depend on, and a business that scales calmly instead of chaotically. High-performing MSPs aren't built by accident. They're built through the invisible habits the owner repeats when no one is watching. Tools don't create excellence. Habits do. If this episode resonates with you, do two things. First, pick up my books, The High Performance MSP and Profit by Time, both on Amazon. They'll walk you through the systems, psychology, and operational frameworks behind everything we talked about today. Second, if you're ready to go deeper, reach out to me directly at craigwillard.com. Whether you need clarity, structure, pricing, or a brand new operating rhythm, I'd love to help you build the MSP you know you're capable of leading. Thanks for listening to MSP After Hours. I'll see you in the next one.